Before we get started tonight, will you please stand and join me in a prayer? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now. Glory be to the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost. It was in the beginning, it is now, and ever shall be. Amen. Thank you very much. We got 6 o'clock straight up and down. We'll call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Hicks.
Present.
Councilor Fred Padilla.
Present.
Councilor Rick Lucero.
Here.
Councilor Eric Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
Please join me in the pledge. They're on, guys. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hurrah! Agenda, guys, I'd like to number 12 for next month's meeting. Approval of ordinance for the land use code amendment. Okay, let's table 11 and 12 because they go together. Let's wait and see. We gotta check out a little bit before we go. Yes, you were. Okay, you know I was.
I didn't care for it very well.
Okay. So on that note,
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda, tabling items number 11 and number 12. Yes.
Yes, sir.
can you guys hear us out there?
How
about now? Ha ha ha.
Mine's real low.
Testing.
Where's my tech guy at? Citizens to adjust the council.
Say something. Say something.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
You guys hear better? Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Steve Chavez.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and good citizens of Grants. For the last 3 years, you've known me as Chief of Police Steve Chavez. When I came into office and was brought in by City Manager Laura Jaramillo and Mayor and various people, a couple things that I had on my agenda as Chief of Police, and that was to stamp out corruption within Grants Police Department. Grants Police Department was rife with corruption, from the stealing of evidence to a lot of untold things that you all don't know probably, but maybe have heard. Another thing was to create a community policing. And let me tell you, community policing is a tough thing to do, and so is stamping out corruption. I didn't make any friends from the very beginning. I didn't make any friends. And I pulled in a crew, including Acting Chief Jeff Modest, Lieutenant, as well as others. Some of the riffraff quit or were terminated because of the terminations. And I have to say, Mayor, Rick, Mr. Padilla, when I promised you, I told you the first year twice. I serve at your pleasure, but I work for the citizens of Grants. And I stand by that till October 18th, as I worked for the citizens. Whether you liked me or didn't like me was irrelevant to me. I was being honorable, no matter the yellow journalism that we saw in the paper yesterday. I was doing the right things by the citizens. And I stand by that to my dying day. And I'll tell you, sirs, I was told by manager that she's going in a different direction. And I wished that the direction was still to stamp out corruption and continue to promote community policing. Jeff Mares is a great man, one of the few honorable GPD of old that I respect, honor truly, and that's the truth. He's a good friend of mine, honorable. I brought him in from the mine, making $10 an hour less because he respected what we were going to do, our mission. And I just want to say to you all, sirs, at this council, you were each individually voted in by a relatively small block of citizens, and your power is great within the city, but it's limited by the fact that we have a constitution. And I tell you, every one of you, I've showed every one of you respect to your office, and I just want to say that farewell. Mayor, thank you for allowing me to serve. I thank Laura Jaramillo. And that's ironic because Laura grew to where she didn't like me either. But the point is, like or dislike it or not, I was doing the job for the people of Grants to the best of my ability. And I think Acting Chief Modis will also agree with that. The things we did compared to the previous Grants Police Department. I just want to again say thank you for everything you've allowed and brought here to the city. Thank you for allowing me, Mayor, to serve as chief. And I just have this to say for the Beacon, well, it's not the Beacon anymore. It's a dying paper called The Citizen. Don't believe everything you hear. Come and ask me if you have any thoughts or questions.
Are we streaming it live? From your favorite there, the Bola Citizen there, Chief. Thank you. For what you did.
Thank you, Chief.
Very much.
Chief. Thank you for your time.
Meeting not on Facebook today again. What you got there? Okay, next.
I want to say thank you for several things. The first is that we all, I appreciated it. Now, the mayor is very interested in finding out who the people are that I have talked to over the months and the comments they've
No,
made.
hang on. That's not what I said.
Oh, it wasn't?
What I said. I asked who they are.
Yeah.
Not the ones that ask specific questions about this.
Oh.
Nothing else matters because you guys have been attacking me for years now. You attack my hat. You attack my stance on the Constitution. You attack just about everything I do. Mr.
I
That's
do?
why, yes, you come here right there and you stand in front of me and you do it. Just like you did with my hat.
No,
And
I
you walked
asked you a
away.
question.
Well, it's okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, well, that was it. You wanted to know who
They are, not all
yes.
the people you talk to.
Okay, I got. Well, they
It's
don't
a
want to
joke,
be
Mr.
treated
Go ahead, is there time up yet?
that way. No. And as a former reporter and writer on my university newspaper, we were taught to honor the interviewee's choice about revealing their name. And I know that the word they, the pronoun they, is a weak pronoun, but sometimes you have to use the word they or she or he. So there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The chamber, you guys are waiting until you come up, right? Yeah, wait till your presentation's on the deal, okay? Okay, next, Bruce Pritchard. Well, you can go ahead and talk, Bruce. Put your feelings out there. I love what you wrote in the paper, okay? Because, I mean, I guarantee you what we witnessed over there was Eileen Yarbrough, airport. You want to wait and talk when it comes up? Got it. Okay, before we get into the meeting tonight, I just wanted to take a second here. August 26th, 2021, suicide bomber blew himself up in Kabul. It was a bad scene, okay? So I just wanted to recognize Staff Sergeant Darren Hoover, an 11-year veteran who was served Sergeant Rouhani Rizardo Bacardo left school to join the Marine Corps. Sergeant Nicole G posted a picture the day before she was killed holding an Afghan baby and said, "I love my job." Corporal Hunter Lopez. How's that? Corporal Hunter Lopez, son of 2 California sheriffs. His parents said that his service in the Marines was his calling. Corporal Dagan Page joined out of high school, leaving behind 4 siblings. Corporal Humbard Sanchez, he was an honor student. Lance Corporal David Espinosa joined right out of high school. Lance Corporal Jared Schmidt, this one kicks my butt, guys. His wife was 3 months. She had a baby 3 weeks ago. This guy never got to see his daughter. Lance Corporal Riley Malcolm, right out of high school, guys. Lance Corporal Dylan Marola was known to give anything to anyone in need. He was 20 years old. Corporal Kareem Nachia, he would take fellow Marines home for the holidays so they could have a home-cooked meal. Navy Corpsman Max Solovak, he was an honor roll student. And last but not least, and I'm still trying to figure out what this guy was doing there, Army Staff Sergeant Airborne Ranger Ryan Noss. He was on his 2nd deployment and he leaves behind a wife. I just wanted to take a moment and acknowledge these 13 people that died needlessly in a debacle that we call Afghanistan. And I'll get into it a little bit further later on when we get into conflict. So on that note, anybody out there want to talk about the compliance of the charter? Approval of special city council meeting minutes, August 19th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the regular city council, special city council meeting, August the 19th.
Second,
Second.
Councilor Rodarte,
Yes.
Councilor Garcia,
Yes.
Councilor Lucero, Councilor Padilla. Approval of the regular city council meetings for August 23rd.
I'll make a motion to approve the city council minutes for August 23rd.
Second.
Councilor Rodarte,
Yes.
Councilor Garcia,
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero,
Yes.
Councilor Padilla.
Yes.
Approval of the regular city council meeting minutes for September 17th.
I'll make a motion to approve the city council meeting minutes for September 17th.
Second,
Second.
Councilor Rodarte,
Yes.
Councilor Garcia,
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero,
Yes.
and Councilor Padilla.
Yes.
The next one, observed holiday Juneteenth. I believe that's called Emancipation Proclamation Day. Okay? What's the council's pleasure? Going once.
Is this an addition to what we're?
This is a new holiday that the federal government passed, I want to say, July, August, somewhere in there. They gave another holiday called Juneteenth, which is an Emancipation Proclamation Day. That's the day that the Civil War ended and freedom happened.
And if we pass it, how does it affect us?
We give the employees another day off.
Another day off with a pay.
It'll be June 20th, not
June
the
20th.
19th, because it falls on Sunday. We'll give the employees another day off with pay. Do something with these mics, guys, please. Somebody fix these mics. I don't like talking like this. Well, it'll be the day that they celebrate freedom of the slaves. The 4th of July is the freedom of America. Okay?
Juneteenth is what it's called.
Juneteenth is what they're calling it. Like I said, I think that we should actually call it Emancipation Proclamation Day. But I mean, that's up to you guys. I mean, the federal employee, the federal government is observing this. We can or we can't. Okay? Of course, I say that we do. Okay? I mean, that was a pretty big day in history. Okay?
It'll be June the 19th.
Yeah, it'll be June 19th. Yeah, well, it falls on the 20th this year because that's the Monday.
I make a motion that we observe this holiday, Juneteenth.
Second. Councilor
Yes.
Duarte, Councilor
Yes.
Garcia, Councilor Lucero,
Yes.
Councilor Padilla. Cool. First quarter financials. Gloria, you're up. And you know what, Gloria? Before you get started, all I want to say is thank you for coming back. And thank you for doing what you do to put us back on track. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We were in a hurt locker, make no doubt about it. Just speak loud.
Okay, so our first slide, you'll see the GRT distribution with contracts. And as you can see at the beginning of the year, we started at 680,000. August climbed to 648. And September also climbed to 782. So I also put October in there because I already had the deposit. So our GRTs are going up, and I don't know if I contribute this to things are getting more expensive across the board. So, but I sure like the looks of that. That's
I
helping
agree
us
with
out
you.
a
It's
lot.
probably that, but I like to, I mean, and you see it all the time. The Navajo Nation is still coming to grants. Okay, they're here every weekend now, and I appreciate them. If it weren't for those guys, we'd be speaking Japanese or German right now.
A lot
So,
of people are traveling.
Would it be hard to put on there, like on the lodger's tax on the back one, the screen before? Yeah, on the GRT to put like, you have 2022 and you got 2021, taking the average of whatever it is compared to the average of last year of those months and put it's rising by a certain
Percentage? Oh,
Yeah.
sure, I can do that.
Thank you.
I can definitely do that for you.
Because then every month we can say, okay, it's 1.1% or 2.2, so we can actually
Above
see it.
last year.
Yeah, above last year to say, you know, because every percent, I mean, it counts. So we should
Definitely.
get excited. I mean, I love to see those big numbers, but percentage would be cool.
Okay,
Thank
sure,
you.
I can do that. And I can do the same thing for the lodger's tax. Lodger's tax is currently, we have brought in 124,195. And that is, it's interesting you said that because I checked, above last year, we're 40% over
Oh, it is
lodger's tax of last year.
Wow,
Yes.
Nice.
So that's also
people are
definitely
tired
a
of being
climb.
locked down, bro.
Hell yeah. Come to grants.
Now, last month, they didn't spend very much money. So our balance, current cash balance with the lodger's tax is the 225 because we did have leftover from last year. So
We're at 239 where we're at?
we currently made 124,000, but with the cash balance is 225. The 361.41.
That will be available for lodger's tax next Wednesday.
Well, no, they still have to spend out of that for the year.
Oh, they do?
Mhm. Okay, these are all of our budget adjustments that I've gone through for the last month. It's actually a month, 2 months, August and September. I wasn't able to do my finance report in August. So these are all of our revenues and expenditures. The top four are some corrections per the award letter that we received we had to make some necessary changes there. The second one, you'll see water fund and capital projects.
1 second.
Sure.
The award letter. Explain.
Okay, so
Is that
the award
from
letter,
the American CARES Act, is that what it's from? What is it?
no, the first one is EMS funding. We budgeted that we were going to receive 6,532, and we only received 6,458.
Oh, okay.
So they
Okay.
just awarded us less
I
than we
got
thought.
it now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Same with the fire protection fund.
Thank you.
Okay. And then the water fund and capital projects transfers. If you notice, you have 1,000 coming out of the water fund, and I'm sorry, $1 million coming out of the water fund and $1 million going into capital projects, and then $2 million going into coming out of capital projects going into general fund. So what I normally do is I give you guys the signers of the checks. I give you a listing of all the expenses that we paid for capital projects that month. So it usually is around $1 million. The other $1 million comes from our utility billing to pay for operational expenses. Instead of taking it all from capital projects, we've got to make sure that we're taking some from utility billing, and the capital projects reimburses us what they should be reimbursing us. Where before they used to just take it out of utility billing and just pay it from there. So those are the transfers that we've done. In the middle there, you see a $3,852,000 coming out of general fund. That is a combination of the next 5, transfers that went in. So we also transfer back into capital projects because we're taking it out of utility billing. It's all a movement of funds. And the $1 million out of water fund into capital projects, same thing there. We just transferred $2 million over.
So when you're taking that $1 million out and put it in the capital projects, as your capital projects, do you have every capital project and it's eliminating a certain percent?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the reason for these transfers the way they are is because we have 2 different banks. One is Wells Fargo and one is TBK. So when we take from one place and put it in another, I have to do another transfer to the other bank. So that's kind of why it's repetitive.
Okay.
And then the last one is just to cover deficits, the $500,000 in the solid waste fund. So they had a deficit this quarter of $500,000.
That's at the transfer station?
Yes, solid waste.
Solid waste, and that's due to the bill that we had?
Mm-hmm.
The bill we didn't know about yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are all the
That was
budget
the other one
adjustments that I
telling you
did.
was going to fall, guys.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
I kept telling you guys there was one more to fall. That's the one that finally showed up.
Yeah.
Okay?
But we're aware now.
We're
and we
aware
can
now.
plan.
We got it now, okay?
Planning is a good thing.
But it's like I said, I warned you guys there was one more to fall, and I knew it was big.
Any questions?
The CARES Act funding, where are we at and what we spend money on and how much money do we have left?
In the ARPA?
I think it
Is
was
that the American Rescue?
2.2 or something?
No, we got 1.3.
Oh, the 1 point.
1.3.
That's Donald's.
Oh,
He's pretty much in charge of that money.
right. Okay. Is there a time limit when you guys need to spend that money by? 4 years? Oh, we'll
4
spend
years.
it for sure. Thank you, sir. Ma'am.
Yeah, we
And
will
we
have
will
that
spend.
within 4 years. And speaking of the wastewater treatment plant, because Donald has been using some of that ARPA funds for the wastewater treatment plant, you'll see on my next slide and next page that you guys have, that the wastewater treatment plant expenses were not, very big this quarter. There's 2 reasons for that. Donald is helping with some of the expenses with that ARPA funds, and the other reason is because the salaries for some of those employees are not coming out of the wastewater treatment plant budget yet, because I have to calculate them. They just got completely staffed. I've got to calculate what I'm going to have to transfer from the general fund to the wastewater treatment plant to budget for them in there. So next quarter, it'll be a clearer picture over 3 months what the salaries are for the wastewater treatment plant, because that's something that's unknown to us.
All the employees.
Yes, that'll be including, it'll be Mark and including his staff. Mm-hmm. And so on your first quarter finance report, you can see that the revenues for the quarter, first 3 months, was at $8,227,830. Our expenditures total overall came out at $7,350,328. So we're doing a good job of managing our expenses, but we have to continue. This is the hardest thing. We have to keep this
That's
up.
why we brought you back.
Yes. and we're doing a good
Once
job. I
again,
got to
thank
admit,
you.
we're finding a way to work with each other. I think more than ever before, we work with Donald. I get together with him on a lot of things, and he has good ideas, and we just kind of go from there, and it's working. Vanessa's very good at watching what passes through her desk, and has lots of questions when things come through that, wait, why are we paying this, or what is this? You know, and that is what is needed. Where before, I don't think there was a whole lot of management of that. And so overall, our finance report is a good report. We're doing good for the first quarter. And if our GRTs can keep it up, then I think we'll have a good year.
Any
So,
questions?
Any questions? Okay, next.
Wait,
Go ahead, Eric.
I think the other one that you guys usually look at is probably the golf course. Golf course had some good revenues, 107. They spent 216. So there was a little transfer there.
this is one of the smallest transfers they've ever had.
Ever. Yes. So that was good.
Ever.
Good deal.
Ever.
Yeah, keep it up, team. It's
Cemetery is doing good. Cemetery brought in almost 20 and spent about 7. But of course, we haven't had as many funerals and stuff that we normally do.
We still have 2 guys there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that due to the fact that we raised the rates?
Well, I'm sure that helps the revenues.
Go ahead. Stand up. Come up here. Speak nice and loud. Recognize yourself. Say who you are. And ask your question, buddy. This is America. Identify who you are for the record and ask your question.
My name is James Key. I had a question about the location of the golf course.
Okay.
I'm not even 100% sure, but is the golf course located right next to the sewer?
Yes, the sewer plant is what waters the golf course.
I was just wondering if there would be a more suitable location for the golf course than such next to such a dirty place.
You can't.
So,
Do you realize how long have you been in town?
I was born here. I've been a couple other places, but I was born here.
You were born here. So how long have you been in town recently? Have you lived here?
A few years.
A few years? The golf course used to be in Milan. Okay? And all the powers that would be back then decided to put it on the hill up here and pump our crap up the hill, which I've never understood. Okay? And I'm with you. They should have never put it there. But it's there and it ain't getting moved. Okay? I mean, there's just no other way to put it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate it, though, because I agree with you 100%. It makes no sense to pump our crap uphill. But that's what we do. I don't know what the powers to be were thinking back then.
and it's a nice golf course. Come out and play it.
Yeah, I agree. It's good.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions on the finance report?
So the airport enterprise fund, we're still spending a difference, or no, they spent 72,000.
Yes. But they ended the year with 131 in, see the beginning cash?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they didn't have any kind of deficit this month. And I will say this, the fuel keeps going up and Ray is making money on fuel.
Is it finally making some money on fuel?
Mm-hmm.
Because they weren't for a minute.
Yeah.
All right. And that's cool.
Any other
Okay.
questions?
Any other questions on the finance report itself? So the last thing I have is just some updates in finance. Is I do continue to work very closely with Donald, and we're addressing some of the things for planning for next fiscal year and a couple of things for this year. but I just got to say that I got to give it to Donald because we have to start planning, and he's doing a real good job of keeping me updated on where he wants to go and what we can plan for next year. It's crucial because I need to know what I need to put away for this year to get to next year, right?
You know,
So-
and here's something to think about moving forward. I met with Donald this morning. Price of pipe alone is up $40 a foot, guys. Okay? Everything that we're doing, and Donald will be up later to give you a presentation on the pond there for First Street to catch all the water. The bids came in way higher than we thought they were going to mainly because of pipe. $40 extra a foot. So we got a plan, which I agree with, and we'll present it to you guys later, and you could approve it or disapprove it. Okay? It's just the way it is. That project, the price went through the roof, guys. So,
Mhm.
and it needs to be completed because we're already halfway through.
Yes.
Thank you. Continue.
Sure. The other thing is the finance department has been working diligently with the auditors to get our audit done. So we may seem like we're not answering phone calls or we're not, doing things, but we are. We're getting them every single piece of paper that they need for the audit. So that's a really crucial time for us, and we're doing that right now. Every counselor that filled out one of those DFA staff forms, you should be getting an email either today, tomorrow. Check your emails
I didn't get it today.
get the. She ended up sending it back to me, and I fixed what was going on. So yeah, you should be getting them within the next day or so. It'll give you, tell you to get your password, log in, and that way you'll be able to see the first quarter reports when they're approved. The other thing is Caroline Ramirez has accepted the position of payroll purchasing clerk, and she's currently in the class to receive her chief procurement officer certification. She's in class for the last 4 days. She's been in class, so good luck to her. I'm sure she'll do fine. And then we also hired Adriana Mendez as our new accounts payable clerk because that's what Caroline was doing. So we've got a full staff now, and Adriana starts on the 25th. So welcome to Adriana. That's
Adriana,
everything.
starting on Monday, September the 25th.
Yes. Oh, October. Thank you, Fred. Okay.
Somebody's got to read.
Yeah, very good. And so the next thing is just the approval of the first quarter financial report and the approval of the budget adjustment.
We'll entertain a motion for resolution 21-1739, first quarter financial report.
I make a motion to approve the resolution 21-1739.
Second.
Council Rodarte.
Yes.
Council Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Council Lucero.
Yes.
Council Padilla.
Yes.
Next one, resolution 21-1740, first quarter budget adjustments.
Make a motion to approve the first quarter budget adjustments 21-1740.
Second,
Second.
Council Rodarte.
Yes.
Council Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Council Lucero.
Yes.
Council Padilla.
Yes.
Who's up for the ICIP?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gloria.
Thank you, Gloria.
You do not realize how much I appreciate you.
Mayor, Council, Miss City Manager, Attorney now. Nice to see you. First item is the Senior Center ICIP. It's already been turned in. It had been turned in 2 weeks ago on a Friday was the deadline. We didn't. Anyway, I turned everything in, got the approval from the director from the Senior Center, and the state was okay with us sending the resolution 2 weeks afterward. So it's already been turned in, but I did visit several times with the director from the Senior Center, and the 3 needs that you see on the ICIP, seal the roof, actually is already in process somewhat. Flooring replacement carpet, that's going to be a target that we'll be going after some funding, and in addition to the parking lot repair and seal. Repair and seal the parking lot. So those are the 3 main priorities at the Senior Center. That's what we've turned in. I need resolution 21-1736 approved by you guys, and that would give your guys a thumbs up on the ICIP.
I'll entertain a motion for resolution 21-1736, Senior Center ICIP.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 21-1736, Senior Center ICIP.
Second. Councilor Rodarte.
Yes.
Councilor Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero. Councilor Padilla.
Yes.
Thank you.
Approval of a feasibility study. You want to go ahead and stand up now, Eileen? Please. Go ahead, Donald, and then we'll let Eileen have her spiel.
Okay, you guys gave us a thumbs up several months back in regard to moving forward with the hangar
Come on down with the
hangar
mic.
project
Just come on
at
down
the
here.
airport. And before you guys is the first step. A feasibility study is necessary. And I'll let Eileen give the spiel in regard to the majority of the funding that will be spent.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. CCEDF presented a check to the City of Grants for $30,000, which pays all but $4,000 of the feasibility study. You all had agreed to that if you could get it paid for, that you would move forward with the feasibility study to see if it's an actual project that we can put in place. I believe it is. It is a job creation component if we build that hangar and use it for the 3+ purposes that we plan to provide revenue streams for the airport. There's Mr. Jenkins. He's very much in favor of this project. He's the one that came to me and informed me of the need, informed me of the additional revenue streams that are possible with this. And so he asked me, is this something that economic development can get behind? And we said, absolutely, yes. So as you heard earlier, the fueling has increased, the price of fuel has increased, and we see a lot of people flying into fuel. And so that is very positive for us as well. I would like to ask the council to accept our donation of $30,000 for the feasibility study, and so that we can move forward with the construction of the hangar.
Questions?
Yes. Eileen,
Yes, sir?
if we don't use it for that, we can use it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? We could go on the road.
Yes, sir, I understand that there are needs in other areas, but this money was specifically awarded to the City of Grants for this airport feasibility study.
So the feasibility study will be done when?
Well,
As soon as you
if
approve
you
it.
approve it tonight,
Uh-huh.
then we'll move forward with securing the contractor to perform the study.
So in this feasibility study, what you said it's going to be a revenue stream for grants. So what components and what are we looking at?
So we're looking at using the hangar to house the fixed base operator. We're looking at the hangar to house a mechanic
Okay.
that can do maintenance, repair, and overhaul. And we're also going to use the hangar in the future, after those 2 revenue streams are established, to hopefully establish a flight academy and flight training school. And so we feel we're very well positioned for that. We're the only airport in the Northwest that would be providing that specific kind of work or job.
So how did,
Gallup doesn't have an airport, and San Juan is, well, they have one, but they're trying to get it back upgraded and in operation. And then there's one in San Juan, Farmington, but obviously they're an hour and a half away from here.
so what's the big picture look like after phase 1, 2, 3? What do you guys see the airport and what's funding out there to make this airport awesome?
So after the feasibility study, we have the state, is it the State Aviation Division that will be coming to the table with money for the PER and the design and, right, either USDA or EDA through the ARPA funds will pay the remaining amount, which would be the construction bill.
Right. We have
So-
500 acres out there. Use it.
Yeah, we would like
There
to
you
do that.
go.
500 acres
I
out
know
there.
there is, brother.
Yes,
So what
and
you're
we do
asking
have
us-
some plans for that as well.
What
so-
you're asking us is to make a motion to receive that check and also to add an additional 4,000 to complete the project, right? The study?
The study.
Mm-mm.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Do you
That's
have,
exactly what we're asking for, Fred.
you have any money, Gloria?
In that case,
Yes, we do.
I'm just
Thank
making
you.
sure.
I
You-
checked on that before I called you to sign the check.
in that case, I'll make a motion that we approve this feasibility study or receiving the check for $30,000 and adding an additional $4,000 from the city.
Second.
Second.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero?
Yes.
Councilor Padilla?
Yes.
Anything else further on this? Mr. Jenkins, you want to say
Oh,
something?
Mr. Jenkins, I didn't even see you there. Thank you,
bet,
sir.
Reg. You bet. Yes, it is.
There you go.
And they'll
Mayor
come.
and council, thank you very much, and thank you to Donald and Ray for working with me on this. Thank
And,
you.
and you are
Thank
aware,
you.
as I told you, and I've told the Economic Development Board, you are the sole point for Bright Green now. The City of Grants will not deal with Bright Green at all until you and the Economic Development Board says they're a green go. And right now, there is no go, no way, nah.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Thank you very much.
No, Bo.
No go. Next, let's see, we skipped 11 and 12. First Street Pond and Pump Station. This here is what I was talking about, and we'll see what happens. Smile, Chris. It ain't that bad. I love the beard, baby. I love the beard. Showing class. You look more like Santa Claus than me, though.
I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
Mayor, Council, Ms. Manager, Chris Perea from Wilson and Company is here to present the details, and I'll give you my recommendation after he's done with this one.
Mayor, Council, City Manager, new lawyer, pleasure to be here.
Wilson.
We bid Pond and Pump back in March. The prices came in really high. We had to make some changes to get it within a reasonable budget. We rebid it, open bids yesterday. We had one bidder. Again, the prices were about 40% higher than what we anticipated. And with that, the low bid is Compass Engineering at $1,683,885 without tax. $1,820,000, $820,766 with tax, which, as you can see, based on the document I gave you, is quite a bit above our engineer's estimate. Again, it was in a couple major areas: the cost of the pipe, the cost of the pump, electric for the system pump. Really, across the board, everything was more or less 40% higher. I stand for any questions on the bid itself. We do recommend that we move forward with the construction of the pond and pump. As we all know, First Street Phase 2 is under construction. We have no outfall at this point. So without pond and pump, as Mayor
We got a
pointed out,
pipe to nowhere right now, guys.
we got a pipe to nowhere. You're correct. So
I mean, this is what is it? 200,000
400.
the
total.
yeah, I'll let Don get into the details of the finances, but I stand for any questions specific to the bid and the project. If you have.
Okay, on the last bid, the first bid that we took, there was 3 or 4 bidders.
That's correct.
Was it 40%?
So the last bid, there was 2 bidders, right in about the 2.2 million range. So we were able to cut about 40,000 out of that. The high bidder on that project was at about 6 million. So their prices are still going up. We're not seeing prices stable.
And they ain't coming down.
Man, oh no.
So now we're facing
Until we get
kind of
economists
different
out of
challenges,
office.
right? We're still seeing prices increase. There's a shortage of skilled labor, and which means that contractors have very small, their companies are getting smaller. We're also seeing an increase in spending for public infrastructure. So when you combine all those things together, prices are going up. We don't see it stopping.
No.
There's been several articles by the Associated Contractors that show prices will probably continue to rise through the end of the year.
Yeah, I
That's
believe it.
probably true.
Hope I'm not the bearer of bad news, and I hope you all knew that. But
I didn't. Thank you.
Oh, no
Yes,
wonder
yeah, you are.
Mario didn't show up.
Well, I won't give him a pass, but he was going to see his brother in Salt Lake, so we'll
Okay.
maybe let him slide a bit. With that, I'll turn it over to Don.
So bottom line, the project's up about $2 million because the 1.82 bid that we got, and then 200,000 for construction management. So we're at $2 million. The available funding of which we haven't dipped into at all because our design went into the soft match, which was about 150,000. So our design money went into the soft match in the funding that was required. So there's 1.6 in available funding. We're at 2 million. We believe that we have the opportunity to go back to the bidder, the contractor, Compass in this case, and do some negotiation to where we could probably get it maybe to about 1.7, somewhere around there. So we're lacking 400,000. I hadn't done this before, but because of the situation, pipe to nowhere. First Street's looking good. We need that because that's the lowest part of town.
First Street will flood again, guys.
First
'cause
Street
like
will flood
I said,
again.
that pipe
Yeah.
goes nowhere.
So my recommendation, whatever you want to call it, is to dip into 400,000 of investments and award the project. I've spoken to Miss Finance Manager Gloria. She's in support of the project. She says we'll be fine. She's already selected a certain pool.
Gloria, let me see it in her eyes.
She's already pinpointed a certain pool of investments.
Come on over here and explain it to
Is
him,
she
Gloria.
sweating?
Let me ask you a question, Donald. I don't know if this is a proper question or not, but is there any portion of that we can do in-house?
We've already dipped into some Go Bond funding that we're doing, combining the projects and the guys.
Means work, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, work, whatever.
tractors and
Yes, yes.
Actually, the crews, I mean, we have projects all the way through the winter into next spring, and we've got a good pot of funding for paving some neighborhood streets, of which I'd rather our road department focus on
That's
our
great.
neighborhood streets. We all know how
Mhm,
great
okay.
shape they're in, or lack of. So I'd rather our departments be doing that. And we've taken down the building ourselves.
Yeah, I knew
You saw us
that.
do that. So I think that was about the most that our staff could do. And I mean, my recommendation is we just award the project, dip into the funding that's available.
So you're good with that, Gloria?
And move forward. Also speaking to Miss City Manager, she's in support of the request also.
Can we afford it?
How about the lighting on going down First Street? Is that going to be a problem too because of extra cost, or is that set in stone? Stuff is ordered.
Mayor, Councilor Garcia, I wouldn't say it's set in stone, but we do have a locked-in price. We're currently getting all that paperwork together. It looks like I don't have the number in front of me, but somewhere around 230,000.
Right, but at the investment funds that we had in that fund, if it went over, that's where we were going to get it from on the lighting project.
No, so
lighting project.
of the 6 funding agreements with the DOT, it's about $6 million. So we had a contingency in the original awarded amount from the DOT agreements that we set aside about $300,000 for the lighting in anticipation that prices may potentially go up.
Yes.
Okay.
But that we knew we wanted to pursue solar at the request of the mayor and council.
Okay, cool.
So that's a separate fund.
I was just making sure that we're not like stealing
No,
from that one, and then now we don't have lights.
To pay, Paul?
Yeah, pretty much. I heard we used to do that.
Let me ask you a question. I know when they gave us that presentation, he mentioned that we would be putting like 27 light poles, correct?
Yes, sir, Mayor.
Now, is that where does that go from? From Santa Fe all the way down to Roosevelt?
That'll go, Mayor, Council, it'll go from where we left off at Washington, south to Roosevelt, or excuse me, north to Roosevelt.
27 poles in that short distance?
They're
Really?
basically staggered about 150 feet apart on both sides of the road. So about every 150 feet, you have a light pole staggered on north, or east and west side of the street.
Oh, it's gonna look nice.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what that guy said last meeting.
It's going to be like daylight over there.
Oh yeah, nice. LED lights.
There was still
Nice.
a library.
Best in the state.
That actually will be the
First.
first
Light
solar
goes
lighting
in.
package for the DOT.
Oh, wow.
We've had to jump through a lot of
Damn
hoops,
straight.
and we're still getting final approvals, but everybody's nodding their heads, and I believe it's not a done deal, but we're about to cross the finish line.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the DOT wasn't in favor, it's not in favor.
They've come around. So part of the issue, Mayor, Council, is that solar is relatively new lighting, right? So there's a comfort level, right, where people are worried or not totally wanting to go out on a limb and say, yeah, this is going to be a great thing. But technology has gotten so advanced with the batteries and the solar panels that it's much better than it was even a year ago. And it's going to continue to get better. I truly believe that this will be the first project that goes solar for the DOT. And after that, communities will start requesting solar lighting. It makes total sense, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the one that kicks my butt. Continental Divide is charging us like $13,000 a pole, guys.
Yes.
And we can get the solar lighting for $3,000 a pole. That's a no-brainer right there. I mean,
Crazy.
And it's-
And we're already utilizing some of the solar LED lighting out
Already.
around in some of our neighborhoods.
putting one of those in my backyard.
And it seems to be working well. We've had one for
I
a
am.
couple of years.
You gotta pay for it, dude. You pay a one-time bill and you got your light.
Yeah. Well, I did mention to the manager of the operation that one of their street lights was out, and we went out there and looked at it, and sure enough, it was out. And he promised to have it fixed pretty quick, and a few days later, it was up and running real good.
That was going to be my question. Is it on?
It's
If
on.
not, I will call him.
Yeah, it's on.
Well,
Yeah.
we went with him. I went with him. He took it apart, and that gadget that he had here showing us,
Yeah.
oh, he put it on there. It's gonna light. It lit. I was putting the cover back on. It went out. So I told him, okay, but what next? He said the batteries. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. So he got it fixed. It's over his neighbor.
Well, I guarantee you guys, I got a solar light on top of my flagpole, and it's been burning for over a year now. I have no problem with it. No.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the First Street Pond and Pump Station.
I second.
Councilor Rodarte,
Yes, sir.
Councilor Garcia,
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero,
Yes.
Councilor Padilla.
Yes.
I thank you guys for that one. Because like I said, that's a fight nowhere and it has to get done. And it sucks having to pull the money from finances, guys, but it needed to get done. Next one, agreement for Washington Avenue.
Mayor, Council, this is Resolution 21-1734, the agreement with the Department of Transportation for project funds for Washington Boulevard. This will complete the section that we left off at the Washington Bridge west to Adderman. We're asking,
Down in front of the school?
yes, sir.
Cool.
That is correct, Mayor. So the agreement is for $2,179,312. It'll replace the roadway, storm drain, sidewalks, curb and gutter, wheelchair ramps, and it is a 95 DOT 5% city match. So we ask for your consideration of approval.
Questions?
Is that
What's
the one that's
5%?
all tore up over there?
Uh,
That's the one over there in Anderman? Is that the one you're talking
Yeah,
about?
so on Washington, Anderman towards the bridge at Grants Arroyo,
Yeah.
Rio Santo.
Okay.
Go ahead, Eric. Sorry. Our 5% match would be about 108,000.
It is $108,956.60. I would say nothing's free, but
Oh, no, that's a hell of a
That's
price.
a hell of a deal.
I'll take that.
It's as close as you can get to free.
a lot of the DOT funds are coming out now as 95-5 matches, which has not always been the case. They were always, depending on the type of fund, 85-15. It was actually like 84-33, but it's really a pretty good deal to get out in front of much needed improvement.
What year is this going to be budgeted for?
It'll
23?
be 22-23 fiscal.
Oh, really? Okay. Right.
and we're almost done.
Cool.
That's going to be a good for us.
I'll entertain a motion for resolution 21-1734 for the DOT TAP funds.
Make a motion to approve the resolution 21-1734 for $108,965.60.
Second.
Second.
Councilor Rodarte?
Yes.
Councilor Garcia?
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero?
Yes.
Councilor Padilla?
Yes.
Next one, Sacaleras.
Mayor, Council, I'm presenting this one as well. Resolution 21-1735, NMDOT Transportation Funding Agreement for Sacaleras Boulevard. It will run from Route 66 to Lobo Canyon Road. It is approximately 14,000 feet. We are seeking the funds to do a corridor study per the New Mexico DOT location study procedure. They refer to it as a Phase AB study, an environmental document. The cost is about, or the cost share agreement is 95.5 again, $546,250 with a match of $28,750. What this will get us is, it is a state road, and if you go through the location study, Phase AB study, we'll have to complete an environmental document and assess what environmental impacts we may need to mitigate, right, which include cultural, flora and fauna, potential endangered species, but we all know there's residents there as well that are relatively close. So it'll include impacts to socioeconomic, building, those type of things. The benefit of doing this study is it'll be a lot like some of the other projects on First Street Phase 1, is when you complete the AB study, we'll get an environmental assessment. They'll issue a finding of no significant impact, which will then allow you to tap into other DOT and federal funds for the construction of hopefully the 3 miles. The other benefit is we know we've identified that as potentially being the growth area of the city, so it'll improve the corridor to get people out in that area to develop.
This is going to be.
It's kind of like Nimitz Avenue, like Balsam Avenue.
Yeah, Nimitz is a good example.
And the thing about it is, I've been in conversation with Josh and Harry both about this for the last year, guys, because as Chris said, that's the way we're going to expand. Okay, and in order to get it done, we got to do the studies first. The perfect example is the 20-year comprehensive plan and the master drain plan. Without those two guys, we don't get nothing. Okay, we don't get nothing without those documents. That's how we're shovel ready for everything, is because of what we've done in advance. I say go for it, because this corridor needs to be done. It's like I said, it's like Nimitz is a perfect example. It's a through corridor where everybody comes out, hooks on, and goes their way. Because just like, for instance, what we were talking about with the land use ordinance up there by the golf course for this cannabis thing, everything across the street is zoned for housing, upper end housing. We don't want the cannabis screwing with upper end housing around the golf course. Period.
Prime location.
We don't want that, guys, and that's why it's zoned that way. So, I mean, as far as this Bright Green Group deal goes, it's like, okay, but we need to take care of our corridors, our drainage, the things that we've been taking care of for the last 16 years.
Hey, Chris, out of curiosity, just what are you looking at? 12 million for the whole project?
I think we budgeted a little over 10. There's
Really?
quite a bit of drainage improvements.
But it's going to be like it's the whole development of curb, city, gutter, putting all the utilities through
A trail
to
that hooks
system.
onto the Riverwalk Trail that'll
Yeah,
go
yeah.
by the bio park. All of that ties
Chris,
in
I got a
together, guys.
question.
Oh, I'm for it.
Mayor, Council.
My question is that study, because it is my understanding, part of that Sacaleras Boulevard encroaches on private property. Is that going to be addressed?
It has to be, we have to define what the right-of-way limits are and what the right-of-way needs are. That has to be part of the environmental document and how we impact adjacent properties, either positively or negatively. So we will have to, as part of that study, identify the right-of-way, identify the potential right-of-way needs, and all of that has to be evaluated in the environmental assessment, or you will not get a finding of no significant impact.
And whose property is that?
Mr. Pines.
That's Mr. Pines. His property is encroached upon on, what is it, the
That
north
east
end?
The
The north
northeast
end?
The northeast
Yeah.
corner.
And so that's something I want to make sure that is addressed. Okay?
It has to be.
Has to be, but Mayor, Council, understood.
I'll entertain a motion for approval of Resolution 21-1735, the DOT funding for Sacaleras.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 21-1735, the Sacaleras Road.
Second,
Second.
Councilor Rodarte,
Yes.
Councilor Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero.
Yes.
Councilor Padilla.
Yes.
Next. Time extension.
Yes.
Is this the same one we time extended last time?
No, this is the first time on this one.
Cool.
We
That'll
received
work.
this agreement about 2 years ago. We haven't broken ground, obviously, on Washington Avenue in front of Mesa View. These funds will go toward
Yes.
that. We recently, just to give you an update on that project, we're going to get an additional 2.3 million straight from the DOT, no match required, and we've also applied for CDBG, of which we're pretty much we've been guaranteed. So that's all going to go around that corridor of the new Mesa View Elementary. This is just one of the smaller agreements that we received early on, and we haven't dipped into it, so we need an extension. By next year, we won't need to repeat it again, because we'll break ground
We'll be in it.
next spring, next summer.
Questions?
Just want to say a great big thank you to Mr. Harry Garcia. He is the one that appropriated the funds for this project.
Harry Garcia.
Yeah, Harry Garcia, Representative Harry Garcia.
Yes, and resolution, so I'm requesting your approval of resolution 21-1737.
I'll make a
entertain-
motion.
There you go.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 21-1737, time extension.
Second,
Second.
Councilor Rodarte.
Yes.
Councilor Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero.
Yes.
Councilor Padilla.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris. I do want to mention something real quick. I do have a new assistant in the office, and I'm happy with it. Miss Karina, would you please stand? Wave your hand. Thank you. I just want to see
Welcome.
you guys.
She's actually doing double duties, guys.
Yeah.
She's doing double duties.
Yeah.
She's also the assistant over here in City Hall too, and across the street. Thank you. Welcome aboard.
So should we expect a lot more work out of Don, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I don't think we can get much more out of him.
I don't know. We just lighten his load just a little bit.
I freaking put it on him every day, dude.
So the
He's not
Mayor,
laughing.
Council, next item on the agenda is the approval of the Roosevelt Avenue Bridge Task Order. That's about 2.7 million in funding. The city was going to allocate 147,000 for design. The grant amount, is that right, Don? 2.7 million? 2.72? I don't have that. I think it's 2.7 million. So what we're asking is that the task order be approved with the city money, basically make it shovel ready. 147,000 for design, which would then make the grant amount 2.7 million eligible for construction.
What did we approve last time? Because did we do something about?
For
Mhm.
next year. In the bridge.
Oh, just to get stuff moving on as far as material and everything. But the construction management will come back later, or what? Mhm.
Because there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
match to the 2.9.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
you
yeah.
go, guys.
That makes sense. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
Harry. Thank you.
You know,
Thanks to Harry.
and that's something that I've got to say as the mayor. Harry has been a godsend to this community. Period. That guy has gotten me every dime I've asked for, guys. I've been to the legislature. I'm usually the last one in the room with him. but he's gotten me every single dime that I have requested, period. So, kudos to Harry. And on that note, who wants to make the motion to approve the bridge task?
I'll make a motion that we approve the Roosevelt Avenue Bridge Task Force.
Second.
Second.
Councilor Duarte.
Yes.
Councilor Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero.
Yes.
Councilor Padilla.
Yes.
Cool. Next, the election.
Hello, Mayor, Councilman.
Hello.
So I am here to present resolution number 211738 for the proclamation calling the regular municipal officer election to be held on March 1st, 2022. It's basically a timeline and an announcement to let the public know when our municipal election will be held and the elective offices that we will be having. I also broke down the precinct parts and the locations of the elections. And we have the dates of the declarations of candidacy, the write-in candidates, the early and absentee voters, and election day.
Hang on, I got a question.
Sure.
Okay, there it is. January 4th is when everybody's got to declare.
Yes,
Correct.
that is on number 6.
Yes,
All
Tuesday,
declarations of
January 4th.
candidacy shall be filed with the municipal clerk on Tuesday, January 4th, between the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept resolution number 211738.
Make a motion to accept resolution 211738.
Second.
Second.
Councilor Rodarte.
Yes.
Councilor Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Lucero.
Yes.
Councilor Padilla.
Yes.
Thank you, Francis.
Have
Thank
a,
you,
have,
Chris.
a- have a safe trip. Thank you.
Be safe on the road. Number 19, open meetings clarification. Go ahead, Marcus.
That was me, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah. And all it is, guys, you guys could change it, but that don't make it right. Okay, just because you could do something doesn't make it right. And all it has done, all you guys have done when you change this is brought chaos to the council. We've had 2 clerks quit over it. The last 2 clerks quit over this crap. But you guys can do whatever you want.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I don't know if my mic is on or not.
Go ahead, just pull it over closer. There you go.
Oh, is that better? Okay. I was asked to review resolution number 20-1696, which was providing for annual notice requirements under the Open Meetings Act and the City of Grant's charter, and whether or not the council had the power to make the changes that it made in this resolution to the Open Meetings Act. And as I explained to Ms. Chavez and the mayor, the answer is yes. You do have the authority to make the changes that you made. And the 2 issues, the issue that I was specifically asked about was whether or not you could make a revision to under your charter and to the Open Meetings Act to allow you to have less than 3 councilors put an item on the agenda. In this case, you chose to have 1 councilor put an item on the agenda for a regular meeting and 2 councilors put an item on the agenda for a special meeting. And the answer is yes, you may do that. I stand for any questions that council or mayor may have at this time.
And like I said, just because you can do it doesn't make it right. That's all I got to say.
Well, you signed it, Modi.
Well, of course, you guys voted for it. I had to sign
No,
it.
you didn't have to.
Well,
You could have
then what happens, Fred?
Why are you blaming us?
Because you guys are the ones that did it.
You don't have
I didn't do
no
it.
fault. You're
I didn't
perfect.
do it. It's just like you guys broke the law when you guys filed your lawsuit and did all your stupid crap behind closed door, Fred.
No.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You got it all wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have lost your flipping minds, Fred. That's
You
what's
haven't.
happened
You're
here.
still straight.
Yeah,
Oh,
damn straight,
baloney.
buddy.
You're more crooked than anybody
I've
else.
been right on everything I've said, Fred. Everything I've said. I didn't pay my driveway with city funds. You did.
I didn't take
You did.
dirt to my brother-in-law.
Yeah, I took it to everybody in town that wanted it, Fred.
Oh, baloney.
Everybody in town that wanted it. Good try, though. I mean, make your driveway better. It's okay on city funds. It's all good.
That's what he does. He goes borrows my
It doesn't
drug
matter.
dealer and
We're
goes
good.
checks my house out.
We're good.
Mr. Mayor, that's all that I had on.
Thank you. Okay.
So what?
No, nothing
Well,
you do. You guys already did it.
Yeah, but
a question that I was
but
asked.
this is how I feel about it. I mean, this is now that I've been in here over a year and a half, almost 2 years coming this March. Looking at other municipalities and talking to other people, it doesn't make it right. I mean, it's to the next mayor, whoever's running this next go round. The mayor is supposed to be leading the city, which he is supposed to be
That's what he
setting
did,
the
he says.
agenda. So it is his, as a mayor, whether it's Modi or whoever's running next, it's supposed to be his discretion what's supposed to be on the agenda. We do have the opportunity to get to council to do it. I'm in favor of returning how it was, just for the mayor supposed to be the leader of the town. The mayor is supposed to be setting the agenda. The council is supposed to be approving finances and watching over the finances and where we're spending our money.
You know, and here's the killer about it, guys. All it's done is brought chaos. That's all it's done. It hasn't helped the city in any way, shape, or form. You guys did this saying that I was preventing vital work from getting done. Remember that? That's what it was about. That's why you guys changed this. Because you said that I was stopping the agenda from happening, which I was, because I was exposing the commingling of funds and the crap that was going on with the last manager. And all of you guys were just rubber stamping it.
That's not how you brought it up in our meetings, though. You were trying to fire the city manager.
Yes, I was. For what? For felonies. For breaking the law,
That's
Rick.
not how you approached it.
Yeah, it
in
is.
the
That's
meetings.
exactly how I approached
No, you
it.
didn't.
But you guys didn't want to hear it, so you guys changed the Open Meetings Act so that you guys could basically do whatever you wanted, put it on the agenda, whatever you wanted, and tell me, how has it helped the city? What vital information has been done since we did this? Nothing. Nothing vital. Nothing at all.
It keeps you to stick to the agenda,
It
right?
gets me to stick to the agenda. No, guys, it's absolutely funny, Rick. That's your excuse for that.
No, it's not an excuse.
Okay.
It's a fact.
No, it ain't. The fact is, you created chaos, and you've caused.
You are the chaos.
Check it out. I'm the chaos. Who was screaming at the clerk the other day? It wasn't me. It was you, according to her.
No, I wasn't screaming at her.
Did he scream at you on the phone, Francis? There you go. Thank you, Rick.
No, it was a question.
Okay, I mean, and it's besides the point. It doesn't matter. You guys are going to do
I
whatever
don't-
you want to
I don't
do.
yell.
But I guarantee you, here's one thing that I do got to say about it. I will be at this for this election every step of the way to expose what you guys have done. Your lack of oversight, your failure to follow your oath of office, everything that you guys have done. Period. A good example right here, what we're doing here.
Approving the agenda?
On that, no, we didn't approve the agenda.
No, we did.
We didn't, yeah, a long time ago. Now we're already into the meeting.
So I would like to see if it could be back on the agenda and we take a vote on it next go round to go back to how it was. That's how it's supposed to be.
Put it on the agenda for next time, Francis, for next month.
You guys think about it. Make a vote.
Yeah, this one's yours, Rick.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
What do you want to do with this one?
No, it's a chamber.
Chamber.
Oh, okay. Chamber, come on up here.
There you go. Grab the mic. Where's the other mic? Somewhere. Hungry.
Is it working? Can everyone hear us? Okay, so Mayor and Council, we're pretty excited to be here. The Chamber of Commerce has been working on event planning, how we want to budget, how we want to raise money for events, and we put together a committee. So we have an event committee at the Chamber. That committee's reaching out to officials, businesses, and talking to people, and actually bringing excitement back to planning for some events for our community. Before we start talking about those events, though, I would like to say that we had a little emergency at the Chamber of Commerce on Monday where we had a leak that was flooding our mechanical room in the basement. I called Vanessa. I had some city employees there within 30 minutes. They shut off the water, addressed the leak, it was repaired, and we moved on. It was great. And so thank you for the quick response. And everyone's been really good to the Chamber of Commerce from the City of Grants. They do come check on us when we need help, and it's been really good. So kudos to your employees. I believe that one was, I'm trying to think who all came down. I think Jorge came down and a couple of other guys that I'm not real familiar with yet. But they did a great job at coming over real quick. We did have quite a bit of water down there, and it was starting to run into the other part of the basement, which was addressed quickly. So
They can hear back there.
Can you hear me back there? No? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for that quick response. But we have really been working on budget, fundraising, and we have an event, some events that Carrie's here to talk to you about. We want to get your input and, of course, your support moving forward. And so I'm going to pass this on over to Carrie.
Can you hear me over there? Okay. All right. So Halloween, first of all, thank you for having us here. Halloween is the first thing I wanted to kind of talk about. I brought a couple of flyers. Do you have them already? I can send them around.
Yeah, I have
Do you
one.
have them already?
I have that, yes.
Okay. All right.
Shared 'em.
All right. That's good. Halloween coming up. We're going to celebrate on October 30th. And I want to kind of share how that came about. Well, before me, actually, I think we were doing like some kind of a fall festival, and it was a little bit late to have it this year. So we kind of sat down, Kate Elkins and Henry Lackey. We met with them, local breweries, talked about maybe doing some different things with wineries. We toyed around with having a festival, and then decided it was just too last minute. We weren't going to be able to put on anything that was good enough, and we didn't really want to put together like a crappy event. We wanted it to be something really good. So I love Halloween. I mean, who doesn't love Halloween? I love Halloween. So I just kind of threw it out there, and the board loved it. We all kind of went with it, and it came to be an event that we're hoping to try and do annually. So October 30th, tickets are available, $20 regular ticket, $30 VIP ticket. Does anyone have any questions on that one?
What's the VIP ticket?
VIP
I mean, I'm not gonna
ticket?
be there because I'm working that night, but sorry, I got a job for a few more months anyway.
VIP ticket is a kind of a front and center table. And then there are going to be more tables, places to sit, but we've got food trucks that will be kind of towards the back of the building. The back of the building? Back side of the building, food trucks, live DJ. We have I've planned some super ridiculous games, door prizes, really interactive. So I'm really excited about it. There hasn't been any events here for Halloween in a really long time. My husband and I spend a good amount of money on costumes, and we go out of town every single Halloween. And so I think it's really cool that we're going to get a chance to do something that hasn't been done in a long time here this year. So did I miss anything? Cash prizes. First prize, $300.
And we're doing this at the Knights.
Knights of Columbus, yeah. Costume contest, cash prizes. $300 first place. Second place, $200, $100. Third place. And there are lots of businesses that have donated gift cards and baskets and all kinds of, we have like really great door prizes. So I'm super excited about it. Moving on from that, our next event would be February 5th, the Chamber Banquet, which we're kind of putting together now still. And then kind of a thing we've tossed around and we nailed down a date today, May 14th, which would be the week before graduation, kind of before everyone goes out of town. We want to hold a beer and wine festival. We haven't put together all the details for that. We just nailed down the date today, but that we're working on.
Creating events that raise money for a bigger celebration in the community. And what we mean by that is our Halloween event, with the excitement that we have now received from businesses and the community, we are already looking at, we're probably going to make about anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 on the event, and that's after all the expenses of the event, prizes, everything. So that's the way the chamber wants to move in the future, is our events should be fundraisers. That money goes in the event fund at the chamber so that we are already building a bank for bigger and better events for our community.
Okay, then we have, so that was May 14th. Then about a month later, we all kind of put on the July 4th celebration here. Chamber, in collaboration with other entities, hopefully this year we can put on something great. Not that last year it wasn't great, but we will have a little more time to plan this year. What I want to kind of throw out there today is maybe the possibility of not doing a bike rally or a fall festival, but tossing around the idea of let me look at my words here so I say it all right. And we're thinking like September 3rd, which would be Labor Day weekend, a side-by-side UTV Jeep 4x4 mountain bike rally, all of it. So that it kind of brings in a different crowd. Families, kids. That, I think, we have the perfect community for that because we're surrounded by Mount Taylor, the Zunies, Blue Water Lake, Sandstone Bluffs, Ice Caves, and who doesn't enjoy riding in a side-by-side? And our community allows you to do that on our streets, unlike other communities. Well, most communities, you can't do that. Our community, you can just ride around in your side-by-side. So maybe instead of a bike rally, what if we did like a UTV 4x4, a different kind of a rally? I kind of put in some.
I like that.
I was thinking like a side by side, like a night glow, a parade, a bonfire, a mud or a poker run, scavenger hunt. Maybe we could get with the rodeo grounds and do like a mud rodeo. Obstacle courses, mapped out trails, and guided tours. That way people aren't getting lost out in the mountains. And and then we could, like I said, map out trails that way.
And we have a real good map system through Mount Taylor Ranger District right now. And there are some really nice trails now, I know. I ride them all the time.
The great thing about doing something like this is weather's not really ever a problem because us side-by-side people, like we love the weather and we love the mud and we love the rain and that just makes it more fun. So that's bad weather isn't going to really chase away anyone. It actually just makes it more fun. So the other thing I wanted to kind of talk about was in that event, maybe giving out like a local business guide, special events, highlighting restaurants, scenic attractions, hotels, and campgrounds. That way people, as they come into our community, they see all the great things that we have here. And they don't have to come back for a festival or an event. They'll come back on their own because they know they can drive their side-by-side here. They know they can go up Mount Taylor. We just hop in our side-by-side from our house and just drive straight up the mountain. It's great. But we can also open that up to like mountain biking. So everyone's kind of included in that. So with that, after doing a little bit of research, I was thinking that eventually maybe we could do custom trips where we eventually can rent out side-by-sides, 4x4s, whatever. I don't know. Just opening up different ideas. So I kind of wanted to get your feedback, what you thought about it, and Any questions?
I like it.
And I was thinking, and I guess I should have said this way in the
You can
beginning.
actually throw in a fall baseball tournament there too. And attract a whole bunch of kids and baseball teams at the same damn time. Because the parks are wide open.
We wanted, I should have said this first thing. We want to make this kind of a collaboration, and instead of it being like just Main Street or just the Chamber, maybe the City of Grants, the Chamber, Main Street, Rodeo, the county, all of us could kind of do this together. That way it's a super amazing big event, and form a committee that makes this happen, not just talks about it, but it actually happens. Lisa,
like it.
anything?
We need committee members. We're going to start our first
Volunteers.
next month. It's something that you're
Well, we'll put it on the agenda for next month to vote on it. They already approved the bike rally, but we might be able to change their mind and get them out of the bike rally and into this mode.
We're talking
Where we're
about
bringing.
a poker run.
That's fine. I
So
mean,
we're thinking
the VFW and the American Legion are all about poker runs.
Poker runs could be
Yes,
so
bet
there's
you.
so many opportunities.
Questions?
Is it even an option to maybe do something like this instead of just a bike rally?
Yes.
Maybe we do this instead and include, maybe it's more broad, and we
Yes.
include the UTVs, the Jeeps, all the 4x4s, the mountain bikes for people that are into that, because we actually have that kind of terrain around here. It's perfect.
That's a great idea. What about, when is the bike rally slated for?
They haven't said it yet.
Obviously, we're wanting to get this going.
Next September.
Yes.
I love
and
it.
So, and another thing too that I will say is that planning for these things, you need to start. We have to work ahead. We have to be able to budget, and right now, I'm already going to start contracting some entertainment for our wine and beer because I need to lock that in today. Like by tomorrow, I'll be on the phone doing that. Because where we've failed in the past is if you try to put something together in 2 months, you will not get a good entertainment person, a band or anything for that amount of time. It's too short of notice. And so I have been on the phone with some really good recommended, I think there's a few of them that we can look into, and we would be able to contract with them, have them a deposit and a contract, and they're ready to come perform for us. So this is all about planning ahead and using money. The way I look at it is there's some lodger's tax money this year that could be some into the next budget, and now we've used it with planning, and we use some this year to put our contracts in place, and we use some from next year to push off the event, and we're doing a better planning, budgeting for these events. So that's our goal at the Chamber, is to just work with everybody to have a solid plan and to use money efficiently, and also to work with organizations to where we're not spending money here, there, and everywhere, but we're putting everything together and working together. And I think that's responsible financial management when we're doing that together.
I like it. We'll have it on the agenda to vote on it next month. Yeah.
We're talking ATV rally, yes.
Well, everything slash rally.
4x4,
Bikes,
Jeep,
you name it.
mountain bike.
If they want to bring their Harleys, come on.
I mean, we can call it something more fun, obviously.
Just
Excuse
it
me,
doesn't need to be
we'll
that.
work it out when we get closer to next
Where do you
month.
plan to have
Wor-
it? Here
working
in
on-
town, outside of town, on the golf
Here in
course?
town.
Everywhere.
We're calling it Cibola, everywhere in Cibola County.
Everywhere.
Include Milan. and
It does.
everybody.
Everyone.
Labor Day weekend.
Yes, Ronnie.
Tentatively.
Vision.
Speak loud so we can hear you.
Do you want this?
Just FYI, great idea. Just started.
Right.
And she told us, we didn't know what we were going to do.
Great
What
weekend.
did they do? They started their Jeep Jamboree. March, first year they scheduled it, first year they do it. This lady the first year we had, go up there now, you know how many people show up at the lab?
10,000, 20,000 people every day. Yes, I do too.
This it looking at it something for on a business standpoint, and Carrie, you touched on it just right, is that we need to use the assets that we do have. So if we're using this as bringing people into town for our mountain, they are going to come back because this place is pretty badass. So
Yeah, the mountain doesn't go anywhere. It's
and-
there.
and they keep they might spend their money, they might camp, they might go to Walmart, but all that allows our GRT to go up. So this is a great idea. Moab, Mr. Pines, you're absolutely right. It's and it's a clean town. I mean, we can keep it. Grants clean. We market what we got. There's Grants has a ability now. What the mayor and the past leadership has done is what he said is getting our drainage control plan, our feasibility studies, the master
Drain plan.
the master drain plan. All that is we've hit a place where now it's like we're going to start to ride the ride because all that stuff is the boring stuff. The people in the past have done that. And so now we're going to ride that ride of economic growth. So now by tapping into the mountain events, bringing more people to Grants, the golf course, you're going to see Grants be a kick-ass town. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
And I think it's important to say the community. So, like, the bike rally would come to town, and I'm not trying to say anything negative about it, but I personally left town. I left town during that time because
I did too.
no, those people aren't coming to the gym. So my gym was totally empty. All of our people were at the event. So at that time, I lived on Lobo Canyon. It was so loud. I could never get any sleep because there was always bikers up and down and up and down. So we just left town every single time. But I was hoping that this kind of event would.
Taxes used to go down during the bike rally.
Well, and if we could get business owners to want to stay for Labor Day weekend because of this event and stay in their businesses, we could host like a small business, I don't know, something to get people out to different businesses. That way they can explore our community.
So we're right now in the process of some funding that's going to allow us to do new brochures. So my thought is we're going to use QR codes. QR codes on a brochure that has beautiful pictures of the mountain, but the QR code on the brochure, if you hover your phone over it, will open up all of our trails. So the chamber really wants to take a lead in that and have those types of brochures passed out. And that way we've already got maps in that. They can look at the maps. And then on another note, we will do some business brochures that will do the same.
I just got a text from the rodeo grounds, Dominic Maleras. He says you can have a mod bug out there at the same time. So, okay. I mean, I think it's a grand idea, guys. It's way better than a bike rally.
So I just hope that we can gain the excitement. We are looking for committee members, so I would welcome the council to appoint someone maybe to represent your council on this committee. But I think we need to really move it, and we need to get to work on this. Give it a run. We're excited about it. This is my thing. This is what I'll close with. Imagine what the T-shirts will say. Just think about it. Think about how we will market this, and think about what those T-shirts are going to say.
The city could use more RV parks to help accommodate a lot of people that are coming in.
Whatever it is,
bringing
events.
in side by sides, they're bringing in trailers.
Yep.
Whatever event. I mean, I will say that I was in favor of the bike rally because I like to ride and I like the atmosphere. But it's looking at it as a business standpoint. When you want people to come back to Grants, that makes more sense.
Yes, it does.
But I like the bike rally. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love riding. So, and I love rock and roll bands. But we can have the same stuff over here.
We actually can have the same
exact type of rally, except maybe a different type of crowd.
Without 148 banditos riding into town and shutting it down. You betcha. I'm all about that.
I just want to say, Brenda, We want to welcome you back to the chamber.
Thank you.
We personally, I want to say thank you for coming and addressing this council. I'd like to see the chamber here more often.
It's been a pleasure.
And
Really
it's
is.
it's great to see all these ideas you got presented to the city, and I think, and we will embrace them wholeheartedly. I'll tell you that.
Well, we have a really dynamic event committee. They're excited. They want to see change. They want to help make change. And so we're right there, ready to go. And I couldn't do it without the board members that I have right now because they're a hardworking board.
Anything else?
Just one more thank you to Vanessa. She keeps me informed on the COG meetings and the green deal. I went to that because she will let me know when things are going on, and I appreciate that. So communication is flowing well between myself and Vanessa and also the county, and I'm really pleased with that. Thank you again. And thanks for allowing us to speak tonight. It was our pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. And then, like, once we find out what we're doing with our marketing deals, like, we got to help them blast that all the time. We have a big following.
Let me know on marketing too. I look forward to working with everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're up.
Yeah, I have some concerns. Vanessa, I like you. Okay, I think you're a great person, but I've got some concerns, and I think some of our employees around the city have some concerns about you as a city manager and how you approach your communication and how you're dealing with people and the lack of at some point. My question is, are you suitable to do your job? And the question is to all of us, do we see that? Do your employees see that? And I'm getting some bad vibes and some more information that the lack of communication and just the lack of ability to do your job is concerning to me. And when it's concerning to me, it's concerning to our community. So that's
Would you be
my
more
concern.
specific there, Rick?
What do you mean?
More specific. You just heard the chamber say she does a great job of communicating with them. You just heard, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking to department heads that
And
feel
I have
like
too,
the
and they haven't told me
communication
anything.
is not there. And there was an incident at the golf course where a girl or one of the employees had COVID. Okay.
Okay. We're going to discuss any specific employees.
Okay. Well,
So
then
do you want an executive session at the next meeting?
Let's make an executive session.
Put it down on the next meeting for an executive session to discuss this. As far as COVID, guys, we didn't shut down City Hall when COVID went through the City Hall.
No.
We didn't shut down the maintenance department or the street department. We didn't shut down the fire department or the police department. We've never shut down anything because of COVID. People get COVID, we send them home, they stay home till they're better, we clean the area, and we go back to work. And now that's a CDC protocol.
Do you let people know that someone had COVID within that department?
Why?
Or
It's none of their business. That's their medical history, dude. You can't do that. That's against HIPAA law.
What about your
against
what about
HIPAA
your
law.
residents? Are they approaching these people?
They're coming into City Hall to buy plots.
So they're at their own risk.
Everybody's at their own risk. You live at your own risk every day, Rick.
Oh, that's
We
true.
can't mitigate COVID. COVID's here to stay with us for the rest of our lives. It's not going away. It's like the flu. It's like everything else. So let's not freak out about it.
No, I'm not freaking out. Yeah, sure.
Hey, man.
Can you hear me? I can't hear me. Okay. So first off, I'm just going to use this as an opportunity to communicate with the board. And please forgive me, Marcus Rail, our new attorney. His name
I'm
is
sorry for not
Marcus
introducing
Rail.
him.
Please
That's
do
fine.
not refer to him as the new attorney. And I apologize for not having your nameplate ready already. So please forgive me. But I did want to mention that stepping into this seat is like being David and Goliath.
Right.
And let's face it, it was not the best of times to come into this position. So with the finances being very close to us feeling like we were insolvent, truly having someone with zero city government experience, I had to question myself, how am I going to do this? So I don't mind that you're questioning it, because the truth is, I questioned it myself. So with that, that's why I went to the trainings. That's why I went to the New Mexico Municipal League and made sure that I attended everything possible. I appreciate that Eric went as well. We had good conversations. I learned a lot from city managers who have been in office for over 20 years. And fortunately, they reached out to me and allowed them to have me be able to call them at any time. I also wanted to just mention, back in May, this is when I saw Ronnie Pines over at Mount Taylor Coffee Company, and he said, hey, just to make you aware, the last city manager did not address this property that encroaches on Sacaleras that Fred Rodarte mentioned, and the previous manager to that. And he said 2 city managers have not been able to fix this issue. So on May 6th, I addressed that issue. And I wanted to be able to take the opportunity to be a city manager to help our community to make sure that things that weren't done get done. And so in my mind, being an athlete, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to use teamwork. I'm going to make sure I ask people who actually know the answers, what do you need? Chief Hayes, I asked him. And he even told me, I'm one of the only city managers that's actually been in his office. So when he told me that, and I'm sitting down wondering, well, why is that? But it's because I reached out to him. I reached out to every single department head, and I was gone a lot. And I remember one of my coworkers said, okay, we know your boots on the ground, but how about you keep your boots here in City Hall a little bit now? But learning about the wastewater treatment plant. As you know, that's not a light decision to make. A $1.2 million contract. That is not a light decision to take. Oh, I think we'll just drop that. No, I spoke with Mart Teshima. I spoke with Don Jaramillo. I spoke with every single counselor that I asked you to go with me to double and make sure. And when you wouldn't go, I sent you about 15 videos to make sure you knew what was going on up there. When all 4 blowers were down, when our digester was packed full of poop, it took Jacobs itself, I think they said 9 truckloads to get it out. So when I see problems, I address it. And I say, we have to do something. I don't know the exact answer, but I'll ask every single person until we find the answer. And please remember, today is the very first day that we've had a municipal attorney to actually be here for advice. So all of April, May, June, July, I had no one except for all of the people that I met in those trainings, and I'm sure they were sick and tired of me calling them. But I wanted to make sure that I protected the city and did not make decisions that would put us in a liable situation. Yes, there was some issues going on with GPD, which I'm not allowed to speak about, but the bottom line being, when Steve Chavez resigned on Monday and David Chavez resigned today, I think that says a lot without saying a lot. And that being said, it kept us out of litigation, and that's what we want. We do not want to waste money, no offense, on wonderful attorneys, and and making sure that we can use the taxpayers' dollars, my dollars, your dollars, to go to who's the heart of our city employees. And when we have our pipes crew out there in sub-zero, freezing weather, wet boots, wet jeans, making $12.42, we had to do something. So yes, we made sure that they got a livable wage, and we addressed it. So when I saw the other issues coming up that the previous officers and staff would tell us in their exit interviews, I had to do something. So gathering that information, this is the result of that. And I appreciate Marcus for listening. I appreciate him not yelling back at me when I raised my voice at you. But the bottom line was I felt a very true sense of urgency. We couldn't just let it go on and let things happen that are not becoming to grants. So along with that, in June, I offered the employees and I asked Don, can we take down that building? Can we do it? I am over there picking up doggone panels for like hours. I was so sore the next day. Carrie, you would have appreciated my work effort. And we took it down. We saved the city $20,000. I've never seen another city manager out picking up ceiling tiles for 4 hours. I was doing that. Don was doing that. Our city employees was doing that. And that's where I had the opportunity to work side by side with them. I'm not better than them, and I tell them that. I'm glad that I get to know you. I'm glad that I get to work with you. It's my pleasure to be the city manager. It's actually a pleasure to be here. When I ran for office, I offered my time and my service to our community. And if it's a city manager, awesome. If you want to fire me, then I'll be working somewhere else, offering my expertise and my commitment. When Brenda was here, and I knew when you left, it was hard for you. And we had a good conversation about that. So when she returned, I called her every single time to let her know, hey, this is going on. Did you receive the invite? No. Well, I'm glad that I called you because I want you and I to be able to work together well. I'm thinking about this last agreement. This is one of the first agreements that the city and the county, Don was there when we had the meeting, and we signed this as an agreement. Please pass this around. Kate Fletcher and I work together because we both agree that the better the city does, the better the county will do. The better the county does, the better the city will do. And now that Linda Cook is here, we're all working together very well. You need to understand, I'm the kind of person that I'm on Kate Fletcher's roof when she says, oh, I'm hot. I don't know how to start my evaporative cooler. So when I'm on her roof, starting her evaporative cooler for her, this is what happens as a byproduct. Being willing to be available, to put time and effort to help someone else. That's not part of my job description, and nor should it ever be. But because I'm the kind of person that will do that, that's what it takes. And so when I started taking charge and addressing people when they weren't doing their job, I can see how they would, that's new. Who wants to be told what to do when they're not being accountable? No one.
Holy cow.
So who are they going to call? No offense, I think they're calling you.
No, they're not calling me.
Well, it sounds like
They're
it.
not calling me.
So the bottom line is, if we have people resigning on their own, that's their choice. If we have people retiring on their own, that's their choice. And so now we have the opportunity to shape and mold people who are going to do a job that we need for our community. The other thing I just wanted to mention is, Gloria said it perfectly. This last month was the smallest amount we've had to transfer over to the golf course. That's huge. And the reason that's huge, not because I have all the ideas, but I sat down with Kim, I sat down with Joaquin, and I said, what can we do to make sure we have enough revenue? I said, every single meeting, we're going to be showing the budget transfer. Do you want to see that number increase, or do you want to be part of the solution? They want to be part of the solution. They do not want to be embarrassed. They do not want to be a hindrance on our community. So they rallied. We started doing cornhole. We started doing glow in the dark. And the truth is, I often go into meetings saying, if I don't have the answer, there's strength in vulnerability. If you're vulnerable and allow people to be creative, then we can actually do things together. And that's what I think leadership needs. We need to be able to come together and say, how are we going to fix this? And we come up with the solutions. And then it starts spreading. And people and morale start picking up. The one thing I just really want to emphasize is I am so appreciative to Fran Salas and Karina. Because coming in here, I need support. And these two ladies, they work together. They're creative. They're proactive. Fran brought me something that the city could be more consistent with, and I said, let's do that. Let's go ahead and make that call to make sure that our finances are being paid on time, and I will do that. And she said, you know what, thank you. Thank you for actually doing something that's not easy. It's easier just to go the easy way and just let people pay late, because that's the way it's always been, right? No. So we have to address things and make sure that it's not that we're being mean. We're just trying to go by the actual policy. And sure, do you think those people were super happy with that phone call? I can guarantee they were not. But now we're actually making sure they're very aware what the penalty is going to be, and it's not like it's rocket science. So it's simple communication. And to see these two ladies work together, I'm just blessed to be able to work with you, honestly. And so when you felt disrespected, I thought, you know what? I'm going to make sure that all of us know, if at all possible, please put your requests in a week prior to make our life easier here at City Hall. I guarantee you, we're working every single moment of the day. Sometimes I don't even have time to drink water. So I guarantee you, every single department, Don knows, when we went head to head with Smithco, and I had to embody myself as Modi and bring out the intensity, and I saw Don Adamio's eyes go, woo, where did that come from? They listened, and I told them, we're in a financial situation, and if they think that we're going to pay them when we actually might have to lay off people, that is not happening. And so just be understanding. If I'm wearing a nice little skirt and I look like this very nice little young lady, I am. But if I have to bring the intensity, then we do. And I back you up every single time. And this is what I learned from Gloria. She is the hardest worker I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not up here just to smooge. She stayed till 9 o'clock last night. She works hours that I can only dream about. I think I work hard until I go in there and I see her looking at every single line item. And we recreated the entire budget. And sitting in on all those meetings, I only sat in on a few. Gloria did all of those meetings. And we think, yes, she's definitely doing great. And you know what? And I'm just saying, she's the best recruiter of new employees I've ever seen. And so we have awesome employees that we can trust and rely on, and they show up and do their job. And that's what we need. And that's when I've said, hey, let's circle the wagons, let's be a team, let's work together. And that's what I see. And I want to thank Ms. Peterson for acknowledging that I went around to all those even the dog park, and put all those district maps because she asked. And at first I got to say, man, that Ms. Peterson, she is just busting my chops. But the truth is that after I hung them up and I saw people saying, oh, I didn't know that that was my counselor. And then I thought, oh, it was very helpful. So I'm glad that I went to all those different departments, and I'm glad that I asked Paul Ludi to bring some tape because he goes there every night. So the truth is, when we communicate more and we talk more about what the city needs, that's the urgency I have every day. And so if there are people who don't like that, then they, like I've told other people in a department meeting, you need to either get on the ship and row in the right direction, or you need to get off the ship. Because we're going in a different direction, and we're going to make our city the best possible. So I just wanted to mention that because I can't make everybody happy, but I can do my best. So I just wanted to address the council at this time. I thank you for your time. I thank the taxpayers. I love driving my city car. It's wonderful. And I just really wish that we could all work together in a more positive manner to help our city. Because when we do that, it's going to make our city better. Anytime there's conflict, I always say, how can we make this where we're going to come out on the other side a better community? And if we look for that, it can happen. Because conflict can build bridges. And lastly, I just want to thank Jamie Holton, even today at our lodgers tax meeting. She brought something to my attention that was not addressed by GPD. I feel like I have a very good ability to talk with the interim chief of police, Jeff Mares. And I know that we'll be able to address these issues. We've had community members come in here, and I've been very shocked about the things. And I've shared all of those pieces of information and my notes with the former chief of police. So communication does happen. It just sometimes isn't well received. So if there's anything I can do to show you that actions are happening, then I will do that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you very much. You're doing a hell of a job. Comments from the council, Mr. Rodarte.
First of all, I just want to say welcome to Mr. Rael. the city manager position. It's good. I mean, city attorney position. Sorry about that. It's a good sight to see an attorney present at our meetings and keep us honest and keep us straight. And welcome, sir. And it's good to meet you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Eric.
Mr. Ayala, same. Welcome. Thank you. I deal with my attorney quite a bit, so having you
Me too.
by our side is pretty awesome. So, I mean, because we don't know the law. So it's nice to have someone here to give us some knowledge on it. Vanessa, thank you very much. Again, from the wastewater treatment plant, from 200,000, it could end up with $2 million. We preventative maintenance when you came in started to change that place. So the team in place over there is really they're doing a good job. So that place, it's a $15 million investment. It's going to last us years and years and years. Teamwork in the city has been pretty good. I'm very pleased with what you've done for the city as far as it always happens. When you get new leadership in, you are going to have the ones that leave. And I've had it. I've been in business for a while now, and it comes and goes. But at the end of the day, I believe that the city is going in a good direction as far as our finances are looking good. Leadership is getting better. The morale is getting better. We will be a nice, fun, clean community. So we're going to get there. Okay, one more thing. Bonfire's going on. We're not going to miss it. I want to talk a little bit about Bright Green Group. Okay, so we went over there. We should have did a Facebook Live. It was kind of, Mr. Rodarte was there, the mayor, the manager, a few other representatives, but it was odd. It was very odd. So let's think back when Mr. Stockwell wanted to talk about that he was going to do it over there at Acoma. Okay, so he said he was going to. Then in Milan. So he was going to have 1,200 jobs or something that he was going to say. And no one can tell me different. I've been in the cannabis industry for 5 years. I know what it takes to put a team together to develop this. And if he said 1,200, at that time, he was probably right. I mean, it's a very labor-intensive job. So from going from the 20-acre facility and saying that he's going to do this medical research, and then he said at the end of that we were going to hire 100 people.
Yeah, 1,200.
I'm calling bullshit. Okay, because if you're going to hire 100 people, where are you going to get the rest of your labor force? So what they do is they might get people in. It's totally legal. They come on a visa. So if you're going to grow that much cannabis, it's going to take a lot of workforce. So where are you going to get the workforce from? And he slated that it's only going to be 100. That big of a facility, it should be hundreds. So he didn't slate that he's going to give any people jobs. Okay, let's look at something different. So jobs is a concern. Where are you going to put all those people? What kind of people are going to come into our community? Let's talk about revenue now. Let's talk about, okay, if that did some calculations and someone's going to buy this product, right? It's medical research. Someone's paying the bill just like they're paying the bill for the vaccination shots. Someone has to pay for it. So, okay, if he came and said, I have a 20-acre facility and here's the bottom dollar, and I did the calculations, whatever he's doing, he's at some point in time, he could make $100 million. 8% of $100 million is a lot of money. Okay? If that kind of guy was coming to say, we are providing jobs for our community, this is the pay we're doing, this is the plan, and then he said, this is the revenue stream of how Grants is going to prosper off of gross receipts tax, we'll pave every single road in Grants. That is a great thing to have. I am all in for that. But the way that he came over there did not say any of that. Did not say any of that. He just said it's great for Grants. And what tripped me out big time was that he had 3 women from Bright Green Group, and I'm standing right there, and I believe that I'm way better looking than the mayor. They bypassed me, which then they went to the mayor.
Russian tactics, guys. Those are
How
Russian spy
embarrassing.
tactics.
It's very good for us.
Russian
I was
spy tactics. They trained us that in the Marine Corps.
I
How to
looked
deal
at
with
that,
believe it or not.
and I was like, I saw the mayor's eyes, and so at the end of the day, that's why we have legal here. Hopefully we could look into this a little bit more. and we can. I mean, it smells bad. Just to let you know, I mean, it smells bad. Mr. Arte, you could chime in, the mayor, but anyways, I think cool, good meeting. Thank you.
Started, Eric. They haven't started nothing.
What then? No, they haven't started.
It's been 2-3 weeks.
Rick, you got comments?
No, I'm good.
Brett?
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Modi.
What? Speak up, buddy. No, that's the highest we can charge. The tax rate is controlled by the state, buddy, not the city of Grant. No. We're at our high tax rate right now. We're about maxed out. I suggest not allowing the crap in here, but that's my opinion. Okay, go ahead, Fred.
They told me to ask you, Modi, Main Street, and what do they call it? The river
light parade
for Christmas, I guess.
Yes, the light parade.
They want to see if you could help them with the TC.
We're doing the road control.
The TC, the traffic control.
We're doing the traffic control.
That's all because they asked me, and I said, "Well, I'll bring it up at the council meeting."
Yeah,
you know.
no, I already told them we
Pay
would
for the
take care of
kids
it.
and everything.
You told them that too, didn't you, Joanne and them, that we would handle traffic control? Yeah.
Good. Anyway, another thing that came to mind now that Donald and Chris were talking on the First Street pump station, it went up 40%. He said in 2 or 3 months, right? Remember?
That's why we got to
Okay.
get it locked in now.
Okay. Another thing that came to mind when he was doing that, the PD roof came around at $300,000 to fix it. It's bad. Donald and I went to look at it. If we don't do it now, what's going to happen in 2 or 3 months? 40%, 50%, with the cost of everything going up, it's going to be $500,000-$600,000.
Oh yeah,
that's true too.
You know, that's what we got to look at. With
we got bids on that.
We can, yes, we
We
got
did
2 or 3 bids.
We got bids, but we ain't got no money.
What about the investment purpose fund?
That's what we just agreed to pay for the pipes to get First
Yeah,
Street
that's
completed.
what I mean. You know, we have to look
So
at that.
would
guy.
you rather do the
No. I'm just saying that it was brought up.
I understand that, okay? And what happened there is if we would have got everything at the PD on time, we could have budgeted for it. We probably would have had the money to do it. But that came in after the budget was already put out, guys.
But that's something we gotta look at. Guys, it's bad. It's
And
gonna
I
fall in.
agree.
It's gonna fall in.
I agree. It's going to fall in that one corner.
So anyway, thank you guys. That's it.
I got a couple of things.
With the light parade, you think it'd be kind of cool if the city put something in there? Put their equipment, let's light it up.
Put the new excavator.
Oh, nice. But anyways,
I like the idea.
Sorry.
The first thing I got on a positive note, next Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning, we will hold a triathlon mass over here at the St. Pius Society to renew the consecration of the city of Grants to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Okay, let's try this again. Next Thursday on the 28th at 10 a.m., we will be having a triathlon mass from the St. Pius Society over here in the Fire and Ice Park. We will renew the consecration of the city of Grants to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and St. Joseph. And that'll be happening at 10 a.m. next Thursday morning. The next thing I know, we hired a payroll clerk. I wish we would have looked at this before we did that. There's all kinds, the county does it. They pay $258 a month to have their payroll done outside of the county. And the checks go, and it only costs $258 a month instead of $60,000 with benefits for an employee.
Yeah, we did it at the Soil Conservation Modi.
You know, so that's something that we might want to look at. The next thing I got, you know, I sat down with Diego Lopez from the Cibola Citizen for almost 2 hours on an interview, okay? And we talked about everything from Ben Ray Lujan to Afghanistan. And he put out this thing, State of Affairs Patriotism. I wasted my time talking to this guy for 2 hours, okay? But what, you know, and these are the things that are newsworthy, in my opinion, around here, okay? We had met with Joshua Sanchez. He was Ben Ray Lujan's contact here, okay? We met with him a couple of times. I got this text from from Joshua Sanchez. It says, "Good evening, Mayor Hicks. It's Josh Sanchez, now formally of the Ben Ray Lujan office. This is my personal phone number. A heads up, I have departed his office due to a difference on non-commitment. A lot of issues that I was working on, particularly toward the lack of interest in what's going on with the Cibola communities and uncertainty if they are going to help with the RICA issue or would be addressive of anything that I'm asking. I wanted to thank you for you being willing to open to try and work with this office. I don't think it's going to work out how I hoped. They are scared of you. They are scared of your stance on the Constitution. I encourage you to keep up the good work, keep up the good fight, and stay open. Let me know, and I'll buy breakfast this time as I'm not with the government. Last time I bought breakfast because he can't be. Yeah, you were there, Fred. Okay? Thanks, Mayor. God bless and keep up the good fight." Now, I would think that somebody leaving Ben Ray Lujan's office would be a very big news story in this town. Okay? Especially after we reached out to him to try to get him to help with the water well, but I guess they're too busy giving $85 million to illegal aliens to come and put them all over the country. So they can't help us right now. Okay? From there, I mean, it just amazes me because in his little liberal jaunt there, it looks like it was written by the perfect Marxist, okay? Now I want to go over here to this one and just read what he sent me, okay? Okay, and I talked to him about it, okay, about his patriotism, and he wants to change the Star Spangled Banner. Okay? That's what he said in his article. He used words as financial equity. Well, that's where you take your money and they give it to somebody that don't want to work. Okay? That's socialism. That's communism. Another thing he mentioned was racial equality. Well, Juneteenth, wasn't that what happened there? The freedom of the slaves? Okay? And then he called Afghanistan a success. Okay? And he said that Diego Lopez, he said that Afghanistan was a success and that we stayed there too long. Okay, we overstayed our welcome. Well, I want to tell you, we were never welcome there, okay? We went there as a war, okay? And for him to use those type of words, and then he says that it was a success. I had to put this back to him because I was just, it was the next day. I thought about Afghanistan all night long, as most veterans have. Anybody that served in Vietnam, anybody that's been overseas, you can't get it out of your head. Those 13 names I read, I can't get them out of my head, okay? So I finally sent him this. I said, "Good morning, Diego. I didn't want to get into Afghanistan with you last night, but I cannot believe you called this a success. It's just been out of my mind over it. We lost. Worse than that, we lost worse than in Vietnam. We left Americans behind enemy lines. They're still there, but they call it a success. Okay? The people we had locked up in Guantanamo Bay that we went after and we caught, they're running the damn country now. Obama let them out, and now they're running that country, and they want to let the Americans come home. Okay? So, I mean, this is what I sent him back. Okay? I didn't want to get into it. We lost worse than in Vietnam. Hundreds, if not thousands, of Americans left behind enemy lines. The people we had locked up in Guantanamo Bay are in charge. Al-Qaeda, which we went over there to take care of, to get Al-Qaeda and to get Osama bin Laden. Al-Qaeda is live and well over there, guys. Okay? So is ISIS. The Afghanistan Secretary of State, he has a $10 million bond, a bounty on his head by the FBI. But that's a success, okay? I mean, all I got to say about that is ask the veterans that served if it was a success. And I guarantee you they're going to give you a different answer, okay? Ask yourself when the next 9/11 comes, because it's coming with what we got down there at the border. It's coming. It's just a matter of time. They've had hundreds of people on the watch list already be caught, okay? It was an unequivocal disaster, just like what we got going on at the border down there, okay? And it's, for me, guys, people that see that like Joe Biden, it's a success. Tell that to them 13 families that had their kids killed over there for something that you did. How do you pull the troops out before you pull the civilians out? So whoever voted for this crap, I wasn't one of them. I hope you examine your conscience and stuff before the next election, because this is absolutely crazy. In my opinion, the Democrats that are in charge are communist. They're the DCP, the Democratic Communist Party. There are no more Democrats up there, guys. And I want to thank Beverly Michael, because thanks to her, we have our first Republican senator in Cibola County. She brought that radical Cordova over here and got Clemente, which was a great senator for this area. Conservative man. Did a great job for us. And she got him unelected. She guaranteed us Josh Sanchez, a conservative Republican. But we lost the county seat here. So thank you, Beverly Michael, for that. Okay? The last thing I got on Diego Garcia, if you read his piece in the paper today, he said that America will never be whole until we apologize to the Native Americans for genocide. Well, Diego, I don't know where you were at for the 8 years of Obama's presidency, but Obama went on the apology tour and apologized to the whole damn world. Okay? So that's where I'm at with that. That's just stupid. Trying to say you're uniting the country by using words like racial equality, financial equity, let's change the national anthem. That's not going to unite nobody. Okay? You're acting just like the Marxist left. The last thing I got is the election. I will not be running for a third term. I will not do it, guys. I swore an oath to the old charter, and I swore to my God. And that's why I will not be running again. The people before me, Fred, ran for a third term after swearing an oath. Judge Larson. I mean, how do you swear an oath to God? There's no court that can relieve you of an oath that you've made to God. Okay? So for that reason, I will not be running for re-election. But I promise the three of you that are sitting up here, I will be there every step of the way to ensure that the people know that you guys didn't do your oversight, you didn't do your job, you almost bankrupted the city. I will be there to make sure that that everybody knows that we were one step away from bouncing payroll with what you guys were doing behind closed doors. The lawsuit you guys filed on me was illegal. It was bull. We had a nice long talk about that today. And I mean, there's no other way to put it. You guys held a quorum. You did stuff illegally, period. And now I'm looking at a way to fix this by making you guys compensate back the city for what happened. That's all I've got. I'll entertain a motion to close this meeting down.
I make a motion, we close down.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. You going to work?
At midnight. At midnight. Marcus.